All right, hi everyone, and welcome to the Elizabethtown Athletics Alumni Spotlight. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Gabrielle Yankelevich, a 2016 graduate and a former member of the women's cross country and track and field teams here. Gabby is now a medical student at the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine after graduating from E-Town with a degree in biochemistry. Gabby, thanks for joining me today.
Hi everybody, thanks Wyatt.
So before we get into talking about this major project you're a part of, I want to start off by asking, why did you choose Elizabethtown?
So I think I came on the perfect day for my tour. I came on a chocolate day. And so for those of you who don't know, the Dove Chocolate Factory is really close to our campus. And sometimes it makes the campus smell like chocolate and it smells amazing. And I also came on a day that was just extremely sunny and beautiful, and everybody was outside studying outside, and it just felt like such a warm, welcoming campus. I knew I wanted to go to a smaller school just because I think that's kind of where I thrive when I have smaller classes and when I can be close to my professors. And that's definitely what I got from E-Town. As well, I was initially thinking of doing both swimming and indoor track at the same time, since I usually used to swim and run at the same time. So this was the only school basically that said that we would be able to do that. But ultimately I ended up running because the track team is amazing and I'm really, really happy with my decision.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I came on a chocolate day too, so definitely sways you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So obviously cross country, track and field. Can you tell us about one of your favorite team memories?
Yeah, so the cross country team, a lot of times we send people to nationals, and a lot of the team will come down and either like drive down or fly down. My favorite was my senior year. I went with fellow teammates. We flew into O'Hara, Chicago, and nationals were in Wisconsin. And I flew down with my teammates, Nicolette and Leah, and then an honorary teammate, Josie, who went to school in Wisconsin. We just had the most amazing time exploring Chicago. And then we got to go see nationals, and the women's and men's teams ran really well. And we got to celebrate with all of them after in the hotel, and it was just an awesome experience.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Can you talk about the most valuable lesson that you learned here while you're at E-Town?
I think the biggest thing that I learned is probably time management. So like being on the track and cross country teams, you're running, even if you're not actually like exercising, you're at meets, you're, in the weight room, you're probably doing between 30 to 40 plus hours a week. So with being a biochemistry major, that was an extremely rigorous major. And I had labs outside of my classes that would last, sometimes like I had an 8-hour lab once for biochemistry lab. So the biggest thing it taught me was definitely time management, but I would also say resilience. I am so thankful for the cross country and track and field teams, because I think that I'm just an extremely resilient person now, and I can handle like the rigors of medical school based on both my education at Elizabethtown, but also the experiences I had there.
Great, that's awesome. And lastly, what advice would you like to share with our current team members?
I think the biggest thing that I would say, which is tough since I know that they're not all together, is just to be kind. Obviously not, when you have like 50 plus people on a team, not every single person is going to be best friends, but I think the ultimate thing is that like you need to be kind to people. You never know that, these are your colleagues, and you never know where you're going to end up in life. And, the last thing you want to do is just be rude to someone and hurt their feelings. And if, you do hurt their feelings, you can always apologize. And I think that just something that I was really happy about is, for the most part during my 4 years, our team was pretty respectful, and we really were a family. And that's something that I hope continues on, long after I've moved on from E-Town.
Yeah, I think, and speaking for a lot of programs, I think the term family is used quite often. And I think it's great to hear, because I felt that, when I was on the track and field teams, when I was at E-Town too. So that's great to hear. So thank you so much for that. And now let's get into this charity organization that you helped start. So whose idea was this, or how did this idea come about initially, and how did you all work together, to get it off the ground and running?
Yeah, so as background, we started Medical Students for Masks, myself and 3 of my co-classmates. So basically started off with just trying to get donations. So one of my fellow friends who's a resident told me that her hospital said that they had less than 2 weeks left of PPE, or personal protective equipment, and that they should start gathering bandanas when working on the COVID unit, which I was just absolutely horrified by. That, you know, as a background, we were all pulled from our rotations, both to limit the number of people in the hospital and also preserve PPE for the people who were working. And I just wanted to help. And I was just so upset that, you know, my friends could potentially be getting extremely sick when trying to help other people who were already sick. So it started off with a lot of like emailing and cold calling businesses. My family helped a lot. I mean, my mom must have called like everyone in the phone book to try and get, you know, like N95 masks or gloves from auto shops, tattoo parlors. And that's kind of how it started. And then actually my landlord, who is the most incredible landlord ever, had a contact with the distributor who said, I'm able to get you guys 295 masks. We just have to crowdfund. So my friend Judy Lubis and I, also another fourth year, kind of started off and just posting on Facebook saying, let's crowdfund. And within less than an hour, we had crowdfunded for the 295 masks. And that's when another classmate, Brianna Cruson, who's a second-year medical student, said, I found a distributor. We can get 1,295 masks, and let's crowdfund for this. I think we can do it. And in less than 36 hours, we had done that, which is when the fourth person came in, named Mark Seiden, who was like, this is really like blowing up. We should make a website for this, and it will give us like more legitimacy instead of just having random people Venmo you. And then from there, it really exploded, and we applied. We got a lot of grants. We ended up raising over $80,000, distributing like well over 20,000 masks, and various other PPE. I have like the numbers listed in front of me, but we did over 22,000 masks, including N95 masks, KN95, surgical masks, and face shields, over 6,000 gowns and coveralls, over 14,000 other supplies, which is like anything from intubation boxes, goggles, booties, anything like that. And yeah, I'm just extremely proud of what we were able to do for our community. We donated to over 50 programs, including like hospitals, nursing homes, homeless shelters. I even spoke to the Philadelphia Department of Health, and we were able to donate to them. So it's kind of scary that like 4 students and, you know, over 50 volunteers were really able to spearhead this in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, but our government wasn't really doing enough that quickly. So I'm happy that we were able to contribute in some way.
Oh, that's awesome. Those numbers are astounding. Just really, yeah, really neat that, you know, some students, some volunteers could all band together and make this happen. So what, I guess starting out, you know, what were your expectations like, you know, as you got this going, and how did they change or adjust, you know, as things kind of picked up steam?
Yeah, so when we started, like I said, we were pulled from our rotations, but we were still doing virtual rotations, which basically just consists of like classwork. So our expectations weren't very high. We just said, let's do it from, you know, let's see how much we can raise, thinking we would maybe raise like $5,000, maybe $10,000. But within less than 6 days, we'd already raised over $14,000. And that's when we started going on the news and going on different radio stations and getting, you know, the Philadelphia Inquirer and all these different newspapers to try and get the word out. And then it kind of, a lot more people offered to help, and so many people had so many different ideas. This one person named Damon offered to help us start selling apparel, where like 100% of the proceeds will go to us. And it was just an amazing experience. And yeah, like I said, I'm so happy for what we were able to do for our community.
It's tremendous. It certainly, congratulations to everybody that, you know, has been a part of this, and for all that you've done for the medical community, and all those programs you've donated stuff to. That's awesome. I guess one final question I'll ask. You know, obviously E-Town's, the college's motto is educate for service. Can you kind of talk about that, and, you know, how you've applied that to this particular project?
Yeah, I think something that was really important to me at E-Town was volunteering. And even through the chemistry department and biochemistry department, we would have at least once a semester, but typically more, we would go out into the community and typically teach children how to do science experiments. And that was another big reason I think that I chose E-Town, just because volunteering is something that's extremely important to me. And so I think that like underlying theme is what's inspired me to continue volunteering hundreds of hours throughout medical school, and definitely logged like at least over 100 hours during this project. But it was, I mean, it wasn't all obviously like sunshine and roses. It was extremely stressful. We had to learn. I mean, I didn't know anything about quality assurance. I didn't know anything about contacting distributors. I have no business background. I was having, my credit card was shut down so many times because they would have like $20,000 influx and then $20,000 spent right away. But it was just, if I'm going to be a doctor in less than a year, it's like 6 months now, which is crazy. But if I was 6 months from now and if I was a doctor during this pandemic, I would just hope that my community would support me, and we were just trying to do what we thought was right. And yeah, I mean, it ended up being so much bigger than we ever thought it would be.
That's great. Well, congratulations on all of this, and good luck with the rest of schooling. Hopefully these 6 months go by pretty fast and you get to Dr. Yankelevich quicker than what it may seem right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you again, Gabby, for joining me today. And for everybody, please stay tuned for more from the Elizabethtown Athletics Alumni Spotlight. Hop on our website, etownbluejays.com, or check out our social media channels. We got more coming for you.
Awesome. Thank you.